Okay. Good Lord. Sorry about that, guys. Let me see if anybody's trying to get into this group now. No, I don't think so. Okay. I'm sorry about that. And I want to make sure that I'm actually broadcasting in here. Members, blah, blah, blah. Let me refresh this. I was over on YouTube. I was going to do a live stream over there. Yeah, I am live. I was on YouTube doing a live stream. Can't do it for some reason. YouTube was not letting me show the Marmalead window, which is a little critical if you're going to be doing a video about Marmalead, right? So let me adjust this a little bit. Okay, so first of all, the software that I'm using lets me broadcast in here, and it you guys can see the screen. So if you have questions, post them. If I'm talking and I don't answer your question right away, it's because I don't see the questions live in the software that I'm using, okay? But I will get up. I'll kind of pop back and forth and check them out. So let's see. Does anybody have any questions, first of all, about Marmalead and the ways to use it better? Because I know that people have a lot of questions about the grades, but when I asked my Etsy SEO group, you know, what questions do you have about Marmalead? Not one person asked about the grades, which just was very surprising to me because everybody always seems to have a lot of questions about the grades in the Marmalead group and that kind of thing. So if you guys have questions, please post them because I could start or I could answer some questions first. And I will say that the Marmalead guys, I messaged Gordon about something this week, and he said that they have some new features coming, which is always fun. Okay, well, you do have to pay for services. You know, and Marmalead is a tool to use to get traffic to your shop. Just because you get traffic to your shop, it doesn't mean that you're going to make sales. So there's a lot more that goes into it. But doing keyword research is really important because if you're trying to get seen for specific keywords, you might as well have them be keywords that people are actually using and looking to find your items with. You know what I mean? And, you know, free services are one thing, but whenever I tell people, you get what you pay for. And also, you wouldn't want people to come to you and ask for something for free all the time either. And I understand that it's hard, but you know, I think it's like $19 a month. How much is it a month? It's not that much. And it's tax deductible usually if it's a business expense. Oh, and my husband just came home. Hello, I'm broadcasting. So, shh, okay. What has changed now in this site and is so important for us? I'm not sure what that question means. You mean what's changed in Marmalead or what's changed in Etsy? Etsy has not changed anything. They're refining the way that they use search and they're doing that kind of thing, but Marmalead hasn't changed, but they say they're going to be adding some things that are new features, so that's good. So if you guys have questions about how to use Marmalead more effectively, please post those as I'm talking and I will try to get to them, but I'm just going to go into it. Let's see. Okay, so when you get to Marmalead, the first thing you're going to see is the search bar, okay? And they used to have my listings first, which is all the grades. I want to show you my grades because my grades are not super high. I don't strive to get A+, because the grade is just an indication that you might want to go in and look to see if you can do something a little bit better according to Etsy's handbook standards. Okay, but I know, and most people know who make a lot of sales, that Etsy says one thing and then they might handle things a different way, just a little bit. And the most important thing to take note of is that if you're selling something, like I sell this mold pretty frequently, if something is selling, don't change it. Don't go in and change the title and tags, because if Etsy has decided that there's something they like about this listing for a certain keyword or whatever, don't change it, because when Etsy decides that they like a listing for something, they're going to keep showing that. So you don't want to, if something is selling, don't change it. So that's the one big mistake I see people making, is that they go in and try to change things according to what someone says. Oh, you need to do this, you need to do that. And they go in and change their best sellers. Don't change it. Okay, there's no reason to change it. Now, is it not showing you my grades now? Oh, come on. No, it was. Okay. I just want to see. I do not use eRank. I'm more familiar with Marmalead, so I'm not, I only show, like, if I'm going to go in and explain a program, I can explain things that I use a lot, but I'm not familiar with other things. Like I don't use Canva a lot. I'm not going to do a video about Canva. There's programs that I don't use. I use Marmalead, so there we go. Okay, Marmalead and eRank are different. They use different data. Marmalead's data is different. It's more worldwide. Go into the Marmalead group and ask. Somebody had posted the question there about where they get their data, and it's different. So you're going to get different results based on different tools. If you go to Google Analytics, you're going to get a different result. But I use Marmalead, so that's what we're going to be looking at. And let me see. All right, so if you're in Marmalead, you're looking at the grades. The grades are just there to tell you whether they think based on what Etsy, like their best practices. If you could go in and check to see if you can improve something. See, mine are all B's and C pluses. I sold every single one of these things yesterday, so you don't really need to stress out about the grades too much. But there are some interesting things in the grades that I was not aware of because I never look at the grades. And if you go down to this title readability section, is not used as part of the grading, but it's just kind of a tool to tell you like how you might be able to improve it based on like how it's shown. This is the full listing title here. And this is how it's shown on the mobile app product page. And this is how it's shown in the mobile app search results. So this is the kind of thing that could be useful, because if you've got a whole bunch of keywords at the beginning, which you should have always been doing this, always write the title for the customer. Don't worry about the search engine so much, because Etsy sees the entire title for search engine results, but the customer might only see this. Okay, so if they're doing a search for a sand dollar mold, this is what they're going to see in the mobile app results as they're scrolling through. And you don't want this to be something like, if you're doing a painting, you don't want to put the title of the painting there. You want to say what it is. So always say what the thing is right at the front of the title, not for the search engine, but for the customer. So this is interesting because this can show you how the titles look. And then this tells you all your focus keywords. I really don't pay attention to this stuff too much. I don't do my tags the way that they would make sense. So it's not going to register as a long tail keyword or not. So I'm not worried about that. But I just wanted, most people have a lot of questions about the grades in any program, and it's really not as critical as you think. It's just a tool so that you can see if you got a low grade on something, you can go in and kind of check to see what's something that you could change. Okay. All right. Let me see if anyone is trying to get into this group right now. Yes. Approve. Okay. So when I use Marmalead, because really that's what I should be talking about. When I use Marmalead, I use the comparison tool, I use the search tool, and I use the storm. I love the storm feature. Okay. I'm looking at the questions. It's all you. Okay. This is the thing about any search tool. Okay. You have to use your brain too, because they'll give you information. And if you know which ones have the best information, which is Marmalead, in my opinion, it has the best, most comprehensive information. That's why I use it. But you still have to go in and make decisions based on your own information. So, again, back to my listings with the grades. If I see this and I have a freak out because it's a C+, then that's my decision whether I have to go in and change it or not. I don't need to, because it's doing fine. Okay. But if you want to go in, that's your decision. And then you go in and look at the information that they've given you, and you make your own decisions based on that information. So no one tool is going to give you exactly every single step to make sure that something sells, because the SEO and the titles and tags are what get people to your listings in the search results. but then there's so much more on top of it. And then maybe if your pictures are too dark or the price is too high compared to the other things, there's all kinds of other factors that go into it. That's the kind of thing that I do in my SEO course. And if you want to sign up to find out when that's going to be open, you can go to my website that's in the it's turtlewinstherace.com. Sign up for the SEO course there. But no tool can guarantee you sales. It can get you the edge. It can get you that edge of the SEO so that you're found in more searches, and that's why you use them. And I think that's what people tend to lose sight of. Let me go into the search tool. And who wants to give me a keyword? Who wants to give me a keyword? Somebody give me a keyword to search for, just to do a random search, okay? And in the meantime, okay. Yeah, and the grades will change because time is part of the grading formula that they use. I don't know how Marmalead writes their formula. Okay, copper cuff bracelet. But the formulas, listings change placement and they move around. So they kind of add the time that it's been there without being seen or something. I don't know. But things are going to change. So if you're really concerned about the grades and that's all you're focusing on, it's not gonna work. Okay. You need to use your own process. Okay, I've got a keyword now. Okay, I'm gonna do copper cuff bracelet because that was the first one. So let's go into Marmalead. So if I was looking at copper cuff bracelet, okay. And that's actually good because it's jewelry, and jewelry is very saturated, as we know. That's a pretty specific keyword. So if someone is looking for that, then they probably know what they want to buy, which is good. But my guess is that there's still going to be a lot of competition because it's jewelry. There's just some categories that there's nothing you can do about the competition. And you do end up having to drive more of your own traffic based on that. Okay, so this is actually not bad. Now, one thing that you can do is go into your own stats, go into your Etsy stats for your shop and find out what's the number one keyword that is being used to find your shop, or if it's like your shop name or something, what's the number two? But look at like the top 5. Find the keywords that are being used to find your shop and put that into Etsy and see what the competition is like. Or you could put it into Marmalead if you want to see if that's a good search, just save yourself the step. So put it into Marmalead, find out what the competition is like. And if you're being found for that level of competition, then that's probably what you can handle. Because some people say, well, what level of competition should I look for? And if you're being found for something that's being found for almost 30,000 results on Etsy, then you can handle 30,000, if that's like your number one keyword. So the copper cup bracelet brings up 204 searches and 2311 engagement. Now, this means that in the next 30 days, based on historical data, current data, and Marmalead's formulas, they're projecting that there are going to be this many searches in the next 30 days to come. Now, the reason that they do that is because you don't want to look for stuff historically, because that doesn't tell you what's going to happen. So they're looking at like what happened last April in 2018. Was there a lot of searches for this? What happened last month? What's the popularity now? So they put all of this stuff together. I don't know what formula they use. That's not my business, but I do know that it's for the next 30 days. So they're projecting in the future, which is more useful than looking just for things in the past, because if that was true, we'd all be putting Valentine's Day gift up as our number one keyword, right? And that's not, maybe in the past that was really good, but right now it's not. So they're saying that in the next 30 days, 204 searches per month, to 2311. Now, this is really good because the searches are the number of people that use this exact keyword and go to Etsy and type that in, okay? And then that means that they're actually clicking on average, like 10 listings, because the engagement is the number of listings that were interacted with after that search was made. So that's really good. So this is a good keyword. And if you can handle this level of competition, that's good. Now, I would add more words to it just to be included for longer searches. But what you do, you look at that and say, okay, well, that's pretty good. And 204 searches is in the yellow, but so what? It's still 204 searches. So, and there's a lot of engagement. So I really like this keyword. Okay. Now I would go down and kind of look and see, this is engagement over time. This is very odd. I guess people don't look for copper cuff bracelets in the summer. I don't know. But it looks like April, see, based on last year, they're basing this on last year probably. So let's look up that. And then you can come down here, limit to 100. You can expand this to more than, you can expand it up to 500 listings. I'm not going to worry about that. Now, one thing that they did take out, and people were asking about this, is the rank, like your position in search. They've taken that out a long time ago because there is no clear-cut position in search anymore. And one of the people in my Etsy group sent me a message that says, what's going on? My number one seller is not on page 1 anymore. And I did a search for it, and for me, it was on page 1. So she's looking at it like she's doing a search. She's not clicking on it. She's not buying it.